Dr. Stewart also said in the beginning, he said that workplace narcissism and abuse and toxic relationships in the workplace, the narcissist in that situation, when you say, hey, I'm, here's my boundary, I think you just crossed it, in that workplace relationship, you need to apologize. That narcissist is going to apologize like this. I'm sorry you took it that way. I'm sorry you feel that way. They never accept that accountability. When I was in that relationship, nothing was ever, I'm sorry I did that to you. It was always, oh, I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry you made me do that. I'm sorry this happened to you. But it was not a true apology.
Or sarcasm. Sorry.
Yeah.
I had a friend who had
it is.
They would say sorry, you're always sarcastic, and you'd say you never, you never. That's not genuine. You could tell.
Yeah, I mean,
always like, sarcasm. It's like, never.
Right. I mean, like when he shot me in the back of.
Are you froze again?
When he shot me in the back of the head, his next comment was, "Look at what you made me do." Wow. Okay, I can't tell you how many times it was, well, I don't remember it happening, so it didn't happen. Well, just because you don't remember it doesn't mean it didn't happen. The truth of the matter is it happened. And there's no way for them to, and like I said, when I started out, you'd be hard pressed to get a true narcissist, according to what he just read in the 5th edition, that to say, okay, you know what, I'm a narcissist, help me. It just doesn't happen, because they're not in their eyes, they are not the problem. They're not.
I mean, the interesting thing is, if you listen to the people who spend a lot of time counseling them, and I cite, you've probably heard of Dr. Ramani Devasula.
I love her. Yes.
Yeah. And when you talk, when you hear her accounts of dealing with narcissists, it's very interesting that some narcissists actually, for whatever reason, seem to have that ability to acknowledge that there's something wrong and they want to do something about it. The problem is that in order to see that through to completion, it takes effort, it takes time, it takes a lot of discomfort, and it takes self-analysis. None of those are strong points for narcissists. So even with the help of a therapist, they'll only get so far, and then very often they drop out, because it's a lot easier to go back to what they're familiar with and what they know than it is to continue. I mean, there are people, I guess the therapists would argue that there are very, very few, but there are some narcissists that move from being absolutely toxic to being able to manage their behavior in some way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, if you're looking at a line that's that long, the narcissist starts here, they move to there, but there's still all that distance there that they could move to, but they don't. And very often they get so far, and then it's like an elastic band, it pulls them back. They're back to the beginning and just continue with the behaviors. Yeah. So if you ask, I know people like Dr. Ramani will say that, one of her defining comments really is narcissists do not change. And one of the problems for the victim, or the people who are on the receiving end of that, is the narcissist traps those people in that hope that the narcissist will change. So in the psychological manipulation that the narcissist does, they sort of drop them little nuggets which show evidence of, perhaps things are changing. And it's actually that hope that then actually keeps that victim tied into that relationship. Yeah. And the narcissist knows all the time that there's going to be no change. Nothing's going to happen. All they want is power and control and adulation.